here we are up on the Lincolnshire walls again. We were out on a horrible day the other day, the rain and everything else, and grey and wind, and it was cold. A couple of days later now, the forecast is as I said it would be. And here I am trying to finish off these 3 panels, 2 larger ones at the outside, well, small for me, and a square one in the middle. I've just done that quickly for you. Now I'm going to have a go at the same, almost the same composition as the first one on the grey day the other day, in the sunshine, very, very rapidly. We're on plein air, we're out in the open, we're painting a la primer straight onto the canvas, fat on lean, working thin up first, then working the fat over the top. So it's great fun, it's very lively, it's very loose, and now we've got the light and the colour. Wow, what great fun it is. Take the brown brush, we're going to have a go at this sort of very quick composition worked out. There we go, straight into it then, sunshine now, sky over straight away, let's get some colour going. Bit of turquoise, this lovely light blue in. This the cerulean then, seems so dark compared to it, but it's not. To get the lighter colours going on in the background. Sunshine coming in now on these clouds. Lovely light atmospheric painting. Colours still, lovely warm blues up here. Beautiful warm, fantastic. At last we've got some sunshine to work with. Tiny touch of green just into it. As these grasses are a bit cooler, and that lighter green right down into here. Really enjoyed the oil paint, because that's the beauty of this oil paint, isn't it, that it's so wonderfully viscous and creamy. It's only taken about 10 minutes so far, so we really got to move on this. Colours here. Yeah, the sun's come out now, which really makes a difference. Painting, you can see it gleaming in this light, which is so much nicer than painting in that horrible grey cold weather the other day. I've only got this afternoon to do it in, because it's going to change again late this afternoon and tomorrow, so we have to work very quickly. This is why I'm using these techniques, because they're very fast. And my old dog's just sitting there enjoying herself, sitting in the sun as well. Now, to really make this work, we have to play the cool warms against the hot warms. In other words, the more orangey warms are the hot warms. I'm going to put some cooler warms in to play against these. So I'm going to start now putting in some deeper reds into here, which are less orange. In other words, they're slightly more purple. The petals are in a bit more shade. A little bit of nice magenta then. Chrome yellow dark. Got my words right. Otherwise you better follow what I'm doing. Blue, a bit of Prussian and a bit of ultramarine, just to pick out some of these darker bits in the poppy petals and stamens. There we go. Now let's get on and we'll paint our third piece up on the hill where we were the other day. A good dog. Okay, again, the first thing I've got to do is to work out a composition. So I'm going to use a little round. I only need about 4 brushes for this. I've got a ½ inch, a 1 inch, quarter inch, and a little round. And again, I'm going to take a little bit of a mucky blue and just hold my hands up into a rectangle to make my composition. Off the canvas almost. Comes out of that hill I was going to say there. Across here, make that tree a little bit smaller, about that size. Across here, then down to this one here, it's about that height. That's the hill going over there. Right, working again, we've got some paints out. Let's go straight up to this sky. I want to make a mid blue-grey here. Too much terps, plenty of white paint. Mix it up, plenty of white paint, little touch of magenta. There we go, that's the sort of colour I want as the background. Pinky grey. I really want to push these colours a bit today, so we'll go back into that magenta again. And we'll just add a bit more of it. Coming up here, it comes higher in the sky. Lovely, cool turquoise. And talking about turquoise, that's what I want to do next. I'm going to now take my white and a little bit of turquoise, and I can see a beautiful turquoise sky happening way back here into this. It gets stronger as it comes up. We'll put the clouds in afterwards. We get the background sky in first. And then we'll go a bit warmer, take some cerulean into that. Up here, lovely cerulean blue that almost looks ultramarine in this. It's still actually very cool, and when we get the other in we shall see. Cerulean up into here, way up this beautiful sky today. Get these lovely blues out just to keep it flowing. A wee touch now of cobalt blue, and you see how much warmer that is, and what a lovely effect it has on the other blues around it. Right up into here, a wee touch of cobalt, white, and now a little touch of ultramarine right up into here, because we've got this lovely much deep. Now let's come back to the greys, take some of that same blue and just add some of this warmer blue down here to get the feeling of these cooler clouds into the background. Just coming back into there. See the effect that has of these in the same colour but in a different place, in a different sequence. Now I want to mix up a little yellow ochre and white. Start to get these clouds. Fluffiness of these clouds, just by blending at the edges, scumbling at the edges. Lovely sunny day for once. Back to our warmer colours. We'll just take a bit of warmer pinky. A little bit more magenta into it. Distance. Play a little bit of cool along the edge there, just to give a bit more distance to those clouds. There we are. And just work along these slightly darker, cool and warm greys. These areas, right through behind here. Get those trees in a moment. And we'll look at that warmer green, which is going to be some yellow ochre and blue. Get these colours in, we can go back and touch them up afterwards. And indicate trees behind. A little bit warmer, so I'm adding a little bit of burnt sienna to that deeper blue green I was using earlier. Just put the darks of that in. Right up through here, breaking up into the sky. I'll break some of that sky colour back into it later. That's warm dark. Hedge there, all the way along here, just stops about there, right up into the sky here. Out to there, hanging around over and through. And there you see, just brush strokes in, we get our trees. A little bit cooler over here now, in places. Before I put the warmer greens back in on there. Darker colours deep in there. Get the indication of branches, tree trunks just going back inside. That coming right over. Get the feel of the tree folding over there. I want to put some greens into it a bit. I'll take some Viridian and a bit of emerald, and we'll just start to drop some deeper cool greens down into there to give the feeling of shadow in the tree. Before I put on the warmer yellows of the sunlight catching it. Down there, and we'll put a bit of that green into there as well, just to give that feeling of I'm going to block in down here and start getting some of these greens down the bottom. Bank of cloud coming over at the moment, it won't last long, but while I have that colour on my brush, we'll use it to catch the trees over the surface here as well. Here we go. So a little bit of lemon yellow, and we'll see if we can pick up this sunlight a bit. There we go. Just coming over the ends of these branches, right through there. There, with all of this white. Now the light's coming back a bit, so I can afford to look at where the lights are shining through the trees a bit here. Light shining through, we'll take my big brush and put back in some of these bits of light in the tree that are shining through behind. Light against dark, off against smooth, warm against cool, and you see now I'm just putting a bit of light around this tree here in the background there to make the tree stand out just a bit more. There we go. So a bit like the one we did earlier, the last one with the square one, we're now working up some of these textures. The feeling of stems in the and grasses and leaves amongst here. A little bit of magenta, touch of white, touch of yellow ochre, and let's look at this sort of pinky grass that I've got coming through here. So it's a bit dull at the moment, so I'll have to just put it in as a dull colour, and then I'll brighten it up when the sun comes out again in a minute. Right, now the sun's come out, we can see it a bit more clearly. In fact, we've got some quite dark warms beside that stuff. We can put in a few. It's getting quite strong, some of that colour there. And once you've got the sun on it, you can see those colours. Can't see colour without the sun, that's the trouble. Not so easily anyway. So as soon as the sun comes out, I start to see colour. Once it goes in, I start to lose it again. Of yellow ochre, a little touch of pink, and white to get these cow parsley heads. We've got to start thinking about and doing something about the poppies, which is what we're here about really, is it not? Right, sunshine, come on, let's have you. Let's get these poppies going. I've only got to make them larger as they come forward. Paint petal shapes, poppy shapes. And then we want to go up to our warmer cadmium yellow deep. Just see if we can catch a few lights in places. Really get the sun going here now.